All right, welcome. You're with us here on Business Today, and we're taking a look at all the action ahead of market opening in just a few moments. Let's kick start with all that's making news in the corporate and financial space. Indications that the stock market could open in green after Friday's fall. Asian markets are up, but they're nervous as well. Bitcoin has plunged 20% in November alone. Investor favorite Nvidia down 11%. Gold back in favor, the risk-averse asset hitting nearly $4,100 at the COMEX. The market will also be watching the Rupee, which hit an all-time low on Friday. Markets look at the impact of new labor laws as industry weighs the pros and cons of massive reforms. The new rules change everything from paid leave to fixing working hours and overtime payouts. Gives greater flexibility both to companies and workers. TCS hit with a $194 million penalty in the US. The IT major had been accused by Computer Sciences Corporation of misappropriating its trade secrets. The appeals court has, however, vacated an associated injunction and has sent that part of the case back to the lower court for reassessment. More bad news for investors of another Tata Group company, Tata Motors, to drive out of the Sensex constituents next month. Indigo to replace the index veteran on 22nd of December. Reports say the move could lead of a passive fund outflow of more than 2,200 crores from Tata Motors, while Indigo may draw inflows of roughly 3,150 crore rupees. One of Britain's richest Indians, Lakshmi Mittal, is leaving UK for Dubai. The steel tycoon who founded and chairs the €300 billion ArcelorMittal is quitting the UK ahead of a new budget which is expected to heavily tax the super rich to plug the hole in the country's finances. All right, those are the headlines this morning. Let's take a look at the setup as we head into trade. Just about 7-8 minutes to go. And at this point of time, we are seeing a little bit of a bump up on global markets, spiked by some hopes of room for the Fed to cut rates. S&P, Nasdaq, Dow are all in the green on Friday. It's also a holiday week there in the US, so truncated for them. Nikkei is shut today, but the Hang Seng was looking good and Kospi following suit overnight on tech as well. We did see Oracle and Microsoft continue to see some amount of selling, but Alphabet up 3%, Apple and Meta also looking decent. So a little bit of a mixed bag overnight so far. Let's go across to my colleague Shailendra Bhatnagar, who's joining us this morning. Shell, when it comes to the index, the Nifty, the Bank Nifty, what are we in for this Monday morning?
A very good morning to you, Aabha. We start the week on a pretty modest note. You should see an uptick in the market, but Wall Street in a bit of a pain last week. The Nifty, of course, added about 178 points to its total and closed nearly at its record high. A good gift Nifty setup points to a 54% point uptick. What is looking good is Nifty IT, the tourism sector, the infrastructure space. Banking, of course, is really strong, a bit of a profit booking in capital markets as well as metal space. So we look at that downturn to buy that back. But strength overall, I'm looking at 26,178. This is the highest closing ever in September 2024. We should sort of this week look forward to overcoming at record high last week, and tomorrow is the monthly expiry. So a bit of sideways to consolidating trend today on the index, but strength across the board in large caps. Aabha.
All right. Shell, when we were in the festive period and during Diwali time, we were expecting those new highs. And as you said, we hit those new highs. Does that mean we've kind of peaked out, at least for the balance of the calendar year? I know we're entering a new phase of goals and targets when we look at annualized returns next year. But in the next month or so, do we anticipate remaining sideways? Even from the Fed, markets are hoping, but the Fed has clearly indicated that it's largely going to stick to expected lines.
Aabha, I think that's a very wonderful question and a very interesting thought as well. Remember, if the Fed does not decrease rates in December, and this is what it alluded to last week, we'll have a sell-off. The Nasdaq has already corrected 8%. You talked about the Bitcoin fall. So risk of trade might come in, but remember, we have underperformed all of 2025. So money will come our side, and you also pointed out a record low for the rupee. If the trade deal happens, the FIs will come back. They'll buy the market at a record low as far as the rupee is concerned. That's a very, very big positive for us. And I hope that the Fed refuses to cut rates. That sell-off in the AI space will see money coming into India. Aabha.
Okay, I don't think the AI sell-off is happening, Shell. We're not seeing any signs of it. but yes, for all the other factors that you mentioned, and maybe even a sell-off with regards to the AI bubble, all factors really poised for India to benefit right now. Let's take a look at domestic markets as well, some of the big changes that we're tracking this morning. Shell, of course, we're looking at Tata Motors exiting the Sensex and Indigo joining it. Lots of money moving as well, organically or passively on the back of that. Let's discuss that for a moment. We all know the challenges the Tata Motors PV segment is having, and it's a natural kind of move out of the Sensex. But from an investor point of view, what do you feel this shift indicates?
Aabha, I'd just like to be a contrarian here.
Okay.
See, Indigo, everybody knows, is a very popular trade. You've seen the stock appreciate from 1500 all the way up to about 5800. So that's a very well-known trade in the market. I'm actually looking at Tata Motors with eyes full of hope and eyes full of expectations. It's seen its worst. The stock split has happened, and a sensible investor will go for margin of safety rather than a popular trade. So if you are a long-term player, you will look at Tata Motors. I would believe that Indigo is a popular trade and is extremely, in terms of valuations, a bit overstretched. But this is my view.
All right. Well, the valuation question is clearly the one that applies across the market right now. And despite the fact that we've underperformed overall on the index this year, valuations continue to be a big talking point and across several of those categories. Let's pull out some of the other stocks and news as well as what brokerages are saying this morning. Jefferies has got a buy call coming in on Shyam Metallics with a target price of 1,050. So from the broader markets on growth outlook and among the stainless steel producers. Also, Jefferies saying that on earnings, H1 FY26 earnings have been hit by weak demand and weather disruptions, but they will improve in H2 as these ease, and they do see a 10% year-on-year on earnings. So that's Jefferies coming in for you this morning. Meanwhile, Morgan Stanley saying on the labor code, they had a few comments and I'll run through those, and they're also talking about quick commerce, saying that labor codes may increase gig worker costs, weigh on near-term sentiment, and 4 labor codes define gig work and require 1 to 2% aggregator contributions. So platform firms may face an added cost of about 1.5 to 2.5 per order in food delivery and in quick commerce. So that's their view coming in. I'm not sure how much of an impact this is going to have, but we'll discuss it further with some of our experts going forward. That's Jeffrey's view coming in on the labor code and how it will impact some of those quick commerce companies. Counting down to opening now, just under a minute to go. Few other stocks in news. We've got Adani Enterprises raising about 280 million from the sale of AWL Agri, a stake in that. Ambuja Cements, Rakesh Tiwari stepping down as CFO. Rohit Soni has been appointed in his place. So that's Ambuja Cements for you. Axis Bank is planning to raise 5,000 crores via bonds. Axis very much in the news this morning. And on fundraising, IFL Finance also looking to raise funds via bonds on the 26th. So these are some of the stocks in focus. Marginal uptick coming in on the index, 0.2% there right now as you see. And let's pull up some of the other gainers and losers for you as well. Nifty Bank also steady, 0.2% as well. So at least not a red downtick this morning. It's still sideways, but sideways on the positive. IT is seeing a nice big bump up. Let's pull up some of those movers. Infi is up over 1% this morning. Tech Mahindra following suit as well. Hindalco is looking steady right now. So perhaps following the sentiment overnight or overall just looking good right now. Bajaj Finserv, Tata Consumer, some of the other gainers. On the downside, we've got Eternal, BEL cooling off. M&M is also down just a notch right now. And Bharti Airtel pretty much flat, as is an Asian Paint. Some of these names have, of course, seen recent gains with just about flat this morning. So that's the screen for you in terms of gainers and losers. But let's try and see where else some of that strength is coming in from. Let's pull up a Tata Motors and Indigo just to see how they're doing this morning. Let's also take a look at some of those oil and gas majors. Reliance had a really good week last week. So let's take a look at what's happening there. We've got Tata Motors down, CV down about 0.7%. We'll pull up the PV one also. And Indigo as well. Tata Motors PV also down about 0.8%. And let's pull up Indigo for you and take a look this morning at how it stands on the news that it's going to be included into the Sensex. There you go, up over 1% right now. Let's have a quick look at Reliance as well. And Shell, what else are you spotting in the markets this opening?
Aabha, I would just look at the auto players. The reason why I mentioned this is that we are now closer to the month end, and you will see a lot of activity which will see strength coming in Eicher Motors, Hero Motors, Mahindra and Mahindra, in particular Maruti as well. So that's the space that I'm looking at in terms of gains. Look at Hindustan Aeronautics. The unfortunate crash of Tejas aircraft on Friday afternoon is hitting sentiment on the stock, 3.5% lower, 4441. In terms of strength, I am looking at NBCC 2.3% higher at 115. Strength coming in Ace Construction 991. 3.62%. Overall, the market is in the green. A 400-point uptick on the Nifty IT index. The Bank Nifty and the Nifty are modestly up. Bulls on the back foot, 1,000 shares in the green, 1,300 in the red. And the rally is led by the IT and the Financial Services Index, Aabha.
All right. I just want to talk about HAL for a moment. Remember now that crash was at the Dubai Air Show. Already down about 3% on Friday, another 3% this morning. This kind of an accident on a global stage pulling a lot of attention on the reliability, export readiness, operational safety when it comes to some of the defense players. The government has clarified, of course, on this entire event, but still a lot of uncertainty and raised expectations around what's really happening with regards to some of the efficiency and reliability of these products. Given the kind of movement we've seen on defense and the strong order books today, this morning, the India Defense Index only down about 1.5%. And of course, it's a short-term reputational risk that we're looking at here, but it's clearly playing out for you this Monday morning. And I think there was a previous crash back in 2024 as well that HAL was involved in. But for now, anyway, we'll wait and see if there are any further details or clarifications with regards to this that emerge from the company. All right. Natco Pharma in the news because, and that's the reason it saw an uptick, Shell, was because the US FDA inspection at the Manali API plant has concluded. They do have a few observations, but Natco this morning, NBCC this morning is up. They've won a work order worth 450.9 million. So NBCC is the one that's moving up on the back of that order buzz. So the NBCC in the news there. But you're absolutely right. It's a lot of the financials that continue to capture imagination, and a lot of them in the news as well. A whole lot of fundraising that we're looking forward to this week, or announcements this week, whether it's Axis Bank, IFL Finance, all of them looking in for bonds issues. Meanwhile, of course, Kotak Mahindra Bank, they've approved that split of every share into 5. So lots of news when it comes to the banking and financial space.
For a moment, focus on the Nifty IT index. What you see is a very strong bounce coming in from 200-day moving average, and a lot of strength coming into counters like Infosys. It's the top traded play on the market today, 2.1% higher at 1577. TCS is 0.5% higher at 3162, and all this is also helping the Nifty for a very simple reason, because Infosys is actually a very heavyweight on the market. Just a quick look at the pullers and draggers. Infosys contributing 25 points to Nifty. HCL Tech contributing 5 points. Tech Mahindra 2.8 points. So that's the strength that is coming in. And of course, as you mentioned, Hindustan Aeronautics, now the top traded counter, 3% lower, 213 traded, and this is a multi-week low on HAL. But the only silver lining I see is that it's up from an intraday low. So IT on the long side, autos on the long side, PSUs on the long side, just a day ahead of the monthly expiry. Aabha.
Absolutely. I'm just looking at, what are the potential triggers there for the IT pack? I mean, yes, we saw recovery on Wall Street overnight. So that's, of course, clearly the one major thing that I can see driving those counters. Other than that, we're tracking changes on the currency, but no other major news triggers specifically on any individual stock. But IT is up about 1.5% right now, looking incredibly strong in today's trade. So that's on the IT pack. HAL we've talked about because that's the other clear highlight in the market right now. When it comes to some of the defense players though, Shell, and let's go a little deeper there because the valuation question applies very much to that sector as well. If one did have to take a little bit of money off the table, where would one do that within this pack? Because they've just been going from strength to strength.
Aabha, that's a difficult one in complete honesty because nothing much has happened on the defense space over the last many months. It's in a sideways to down diagonal fall or profit booking because of excessive valuations on the long side. I would imagine let it settle down on its own. The news is extremely tragic. My understanding is that people will use this very sad opportunity to get back into Hindustan Aeronautics. Much will depend on how the close will figure out today, but I would just stay away from booking profit in BEL in particular. That's in strength, but technically it looks sideways as far as the entire defense pack is concerned. I'll bring your attention to HG Infra. Very strong move coming in, 916 for you. The counter is trading about 0.7% higher. Fresh order flow of 1400 crore rupees. Aabha.
Okay, we've got a few other stocks also moving. I think there's Shelly Engineering. Let's pull that one. So we've got HG Infra, we've got Shelly Engineering also. I think that's on a brokerage report. That's moving higher as well right now. We've got Team Lease up almost 10%. We've got the new labor code also being discussed, and a lot of your quick commerce companies are moving on that. Team Lease is also up about 10%, which let's take a deeper look at in just a moment. But Eternal is down. We've got Grow, I think, back in action. We'll pull up some of the other quick commerce companies to just see if there's any impact of the labor code news coming in on that. All right, let's talk about Team Lease. Let's talk about Team Lease, Shell, because a 10% move is not one that you see every day on a Team Lease. We have seen, of course, a decent set of numbers, but that was also a couple of weeks ago.
Correct. But look at this in context that Team Lease has corrected very sharply over the last 6 months or so. The most recent high was 3,000 rupees. All-time high for Team Lease is somewhere like 5,555. And from that level, you see a bounce that is coming in. You mentioned earnings in particular. That's pretty good. And of course, this is value buying across the board. And more importantly, IT index is in top shape. So a couple of very strong tailwinds coming into Team Lease. And at the moment, 9% higher, 151. Very strong volume. Aabha, that was a very good pick.
I've got to thank my producer Twinkle for that, actually, and spotting the action on this one. We've got the PSU Bank Index also trending higher right now, up about 0.5%, looking good. Financial is going to come back to it. We've got the PSUs on the move on the back of reform buzz. We've got the private ones on the news on the back of lots of fundraising, etc. So banking continues to be a prime area of focus, Shell.
Yes, Aabha. So a lot of strength across the board in PSU pack. The top four that we always look at: Canara Bank, Bank of Baroda, Indian Bank, and of course the big one, the big daddy, State Bank of India plus PNB. All 5 of them in top shape. This is again a bit of buying across the board in PSUs. You see very positive breath coming in. Look at HUDCO, look at Shipping Corporation of India, IDBI. All these low ticket, high beta items are doing extremely well on the first day of the week. Aabha.
Absolutely, and looking really good there. Shah Metallics we talked about, of course. Just looking at some of the other active names right now. TVS Holdings, JSW Holdings, Tata Elxsi up 3%. Some of these names on the upside, just from the broader markets, pulling up some of the volume buzzers for you, just to take a look at what's happening there across and where else we're seeing some amount of buying action come in outside of the heavyweights. On the downside as well, let's take a look at where we're seeing some amount of a cool off. We've talked about data pattern, for instance, delivery, Lemon Tree is cooling off today, DCM Shriram, Usha Martin, so Tejas Networks, we spoke about that. So these are a couple of the stocks on the downside, and as Shell mentioned, a Cochin Shipyard, for instance. Pharma Lupin is down about 1% this morning, but that's the only one right now. So that's where some of the cool off is happening at this point of time. Let's pull up Hero Motor for you, talking about auto and all the action shifting back into auto. Hero, Eicher, both of them at 52-week highs. Let's pull them up for you. And remember, we're heading in for sales figures next week. So it clearly looks like action's continuing when it comes to some of the two-wheeler names. Both Hero and Eicher continue to look good, trending at 52-week highs right now. We've also got the SME IPO this week, SSMD Agro, with the price band of 114 to 121 rupees. It'll open on the 25th, that's tomorrow. And Mother Nutri with the price band of 111 to 117 will open on 26th. KK Silk with the price band of 36 to 38 rupees will open on the 26th as well. And Purple Wave with the price band of 120 to 126 rupees will open on 28th November. Meanwhile, Exato with a price band of 133 to 140 rupees will open on the 28th of November. All right, before we go, let's quickly touch upon the market once again and see where we're at just 15 minutes into opening this morning. I would say it's all about IT, focusing there. Strong 1.5% move on the IT index. Action across. Banks are, of course, also seeing positive momentum. But it's really IT where we're seeing a lot of momentum. And then, of course, a few stocks from the broader markets. But keep an eye on that. Clear Trigger, almost 2% higher now on the IT index. We'll continue to track that for you and bring you all the action and analysis at 3 o'clock on market closing. Thanks for joining us.
Markets move today to what's setting the stage for tomorrow. From tariffs to taxes, mutual funds to your daily stock queries. Join me as I decode the biggest wealth-creating ideas for you at the closing bell. Watch me as I bring to you the Business Today show every weekday at 3 p.m. only on India Today.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you on Business Today television. This is the first day of the week and also the penultimate day for the monthly expiry in F&O, where the Nifty has already gained about 1.5% all through November. So it's a good start for the moment. 46 points higher on the Nifty. The battle is at 26,100 for the bulls and the bears. What is showing strength is the phenomenal gains that we are seeing in the IT space. Infosys is the top gainer, 2.2% higher at 1579. It is also the top traded counter. Strength and persistent, Coforge in particular, TeamLease and of course the smaller major companies, HCL Tech, Wipro and Tech Mahindra as well. So strength coming in across the board. The other very interesting space in the market is the PSU banking setup. The breadth is extremely positive there. You have Canara Bank, Bank of Baroda, PNB, IDBI Bank showing strength more than 1.5% higher, and the PSU banking and the PSU pack is also doing extremely well. NBCC, HUDCO, to name a few. A bit of buying happening in the metal space as well, led by Hindustan Zinc and National Aluminium. Vaishali Parekh joins us. A very good morning to you, Vaishali, our Lady Luck. How do you find the start of the week as far as markets are concerned? Your view on the Nifty?
Very good morning, Shelty, and thank you for your kind words. Yes, so I think market, as far as the index Nifty is concerned, we are very much, the trend is maintained. But well, when you are seeing range-wise, I would say it needs to cross the hurdle of 26,200 levels decisively to look for higher targets. So I would say 25,800 should act as a support for this week, and 26,200 is the hurdle which we are awaiting that should be crossed to look for higher targets.
Fair point. Any favorites that you have in the market today, maybe in the auto space, the banking space or the IT space? What looks good on the charts as far as stocks are concerned?
So yes, as we saw, the day has begun with a strong IT index opening. So of course, I'm looking at TCS, because of course we've seen Infosys giving the run. So TCS is the other stock that I would look at. Technically very well placed. So I think that is the stock which can show good upside as a positional trade. Followed by, we are seeing good momentum coming in Coforge. And as you just mentioned sometime back, NBCC is showing strength, already up 5%. So technically I'm looking at the stock above 119. 119 was the previous high that we witnessed. So once we see a clarity of this stock crossing above 119, this would open targets of 130 from here on. So this is the stock that I'm closely watching from here on.
NBCC also has a development in terms of news, fresh order inflow into this government contractor, which actually works within the government space only for all those PSUs, all those unlisted government companies that have huge land banks. NBCC utilizes that land bank and sells those freshly made buildings only to government companies. So a very, very strong business model that's coming in. We are also waiting for Aabha to join us, but in the moment, strength coming into MCX, that is a bounce that's happening. A lot of hospital chains doing well, MedPlus, Thyrocare, Indraprasth Medico, all of them showing bit gains in early trade, but a rally in MCX. Vaishali, we've discussed this one many times over. A view on the commodity exchange from you, 98.17.
I would say yes, of course. I mean, it has maintained its strong uptrend. So I would see the stock going towards 10,000. That would be the first target as a trading strategy. And above that, if it sustains 10,300, should not be ruled out as well.
Okay. A view on Team Lease, a 9% uptick post the change in labor laws. Would you guess where the stock is headed?
So well, today is one such candle which is showing signs of reversal after a long consolidation. What we witnessed, good volume and good momentum right now. But what we need to see is a follow-up buying, and if we continue seeing this, then I think 1900 should act as a good resistance. So I think if all going well, this can go towards 1900 level, but the actual strength and getting the stock getting into a trend would be above 1900 levels. So for now, it would be making a good trading strategy going up to 1900 levels.
Okay. The lone record high, ladies and gentlemen, in the market is Eicher Motors within the NSE 500. A fabulous two-wheeler stock. Let's see what Vaishali says. Vaishali, is this time to chase further momentum on Eicher Motors? What are the charts telling you here for the maker of bullet bikes?
Oh yes, so this is one stock which has got into all-time high, and I'm looking at the weekly chart as well as the monthly chart. I still don't see any exhaustion in the trend, so I would say continue holding with a trailing stop loss because this can go towards 7,500 levels as well.
Okay, fair point. Strength coming into M&M Finance 350. I'm just marking stocks. We are all waiting for Aabha to join us. What's also interesting is the 9% uptick that we are seeing on ITI, that's Indian Telephone Industries. Like I've mentioned, PSUs are doing extremely well. ITI bouncing from its 365-day moving average. There is strength also that's seen on BDL. You might see a red on Bharat Dynamics in terms of overall price, but remember the dip is getting bought into. The low was 1483, we are now at 1508. However, there is no such hope for Hindustan Aeronautics, still in pain, 3% lower, 4456. Vaishali, a view on HAL if at all?
So yes, currently it's broken all the support levels, but if you see the past data, I think 4350, 4400 levels should be held on, because if these levels break, then it's calling for further trouble. So I guess I'll wait and watch. We'll look at 4350, 4400 levels. These are the levels which should hold on.
That's interesting. What also needs to be checked is Tech Mahindra. Most of these stocks were so badly beaten, that even a faint hope is pushing them higher. Look at the strength in Tech Mahindra today, 3% higher, trying to take out its 200-day moving average. Let's see what Vaishali has in view. Vaishali, 155 crores traded on Tech Mahindra. A view on this stock. This is now at a 3-month high.
So I would be positive on this stock because chartically, if you see, it had made a double bottom at 1400. As a disclaimer, we had recommended this stock for a target of 1550. So as you said, 200-day moving average does act as a hurdle. So 1520, 1550 is the range that should act as a resistance. But I would take my chances because I think IT index is here to stay for a while. So I would say 1450 should be taken as a near-term support. Once this stock crosses 1550, this can go towards 1700 levels also. So I would say yes, it's a buy from here on.
Okay, fair point. All those forgotten shares coming back on the radar, Aabha. NIIT. Can't remember the last time I marked NIIT. Now in 2 digits, 97 rupees is what I see in front of me. My God, look at the correction that's happened. 150 was the most recent high. My God, look at it this way. 229 is what we saw on December 2024, and we are almost there in terms of time. From 229, the stock has corrected to 97 rupees. Huge margin of safety. Look at Persistent and look at Coforge. These are the most widely held mid-cap IT stocks within mutual fund portfolios. They are doing extremely well as well. Anything else that catches your fancy, Vaishali?
So yes, as I said, it's more of IT stocks, and Persistent has always been our favorite. And in fact, we have been recommending this stock right from 5300 levels. I still feel that this will go to a 68 to 7000. So I think it's time for cherry picking stocks which are really well corrected. And since right now it's only an index driven market, I would say one should look at ITC also. That has been quite a laggard. And as per Friday's move, I was seeing that this stock was trying to get into momentum. So I would give ITC a thought because that is not really participated. And if I look at it, technically it's looking quite good. 390, 400 is the support band. 415, 420 needs to be crossed. So I think this is one stock to my liking right now.
Wonderful. The glow, the luster, and the chamak is back on the show. Over to you, Aabha.
Thanks for that, Shell. Made my Monday morning. Vaishali now just joined in, so pardon me if I've missed out on one or two things. But couple of the broader market plays, we're seeing NBCC in action today on the back of order win. I think some of the engineering stocks also are moving higher this morning on the back of some buzz or the other. So 4% on an NBC. I think it was. I'll just bring up a couple of those engineering stocks as well and name them for you. But what are you making of the action on some of these names?
Good morning, Aabha. Yes, so we just spoke about NBCC. This stock we do closely watch, and as I just mentioned, 119 acts as a very crucial resistance level. It has given a good start, so we'll wait and watch, because once it crosses 119, if we see sustaining above this, then I think this will go towards 135 or so. So yes, it is looking quite attractive at these levels.
Let's pull up ITI because that's also moving up about 9%, not sure of the trigger, and we've got a Karnataka Bank up 5%. That's also up about 13% in just 2 sessions. So Karnataka Bank, they're looking particularly good. ITI is up 8% as well. I'm just going to give Vaishali a moment to pull that up on the charts to see if there is anything specific that she's seeing on that particular counter. Vaishali?
Yeah, definitely. So if we talk about ITI, yes, a good strong candle, decent volume right now. So this also makes it a very good, because we've seen the stock consolidating for a couple of months, right from, if I may say so, from May to now, just this very range that we are witnessing. So today's low could act as a stop loss, and we need to see the stock moving about 340 levels. So once we see a clarity of the stock moving about 340, this would give us further projections of around 400 and so on. So yes, this stock definitely looks attractive. Besides that, as we speak about Karnataka, well, attractive level was pretty much at around, I think, 175, 180, and we saw this stock picking up momentum on Friday itself. So I think the way the candle formation is, I think in technical terms, I would say it's heading for 3 white soldiers, and I think this can go towards 215, 220. So this is one stock. Along with this, even IDBI looks promising. So yes, in the cash category, these are the stocks which need to be focused on.
All right, there's a whole host of PSU banks also that are moving today, the index as well as across the board, the 3-4 main ones that we track, all on the move. Vaishali, we've got IDBI, Canada, the usuals, as well as Bank of Baroda, Indian Bank also moving. From the PSU basket, what's your pick?
Yes, so I think, well, I would not really suggest a new buy at these levels, because PSU banks had already given a good indication a long time back. So I would say continue holding with a trailing stop loss, because it still has some more further upside to go. But in the cash category, I would definitely look at UCO Bank and IOB as well. As far as Bank of Maharashtra, which is closely watched by everyone, I would wait for it. If you see the weekly chart also, there is a constant resistance seen at 61, 62 levels. So we need a clarity on that. 62 needs to be crossed, then we are aiming for higher targets of 67, 70 levels. So yes, either buy near 54, 55 or wait for a clarity for this stock to move further high.
Okay, let me just mark a sector. This is the sugar space, beaten down tremendously over the last 4 or 5 months, if not longer. There is buzz in the market that the minimum selling price for sugar will be raised by the government after a gap of many years. That is something this should boost sentiment on this particular sector. I was seeing Rana Sugars doing pretty well, but apart from that, couldn't find out a good stock. Let's look at Balrampur Chini. I haven't seen that stock for a very long while. Remember, the sugar story has been hijacked by the ethanol play for all companies, so nothing much happening there. It's a price that I'd just like to mark, as also volume buzzers in the form of Anand Rathi Wealth. Very heavy volume coming in the first half an hour of trade. The stock is recovering from its intraday low. And Aabha's marked Shyam Metallics. This is up 2.5% on very heavy volumes. And Polymed, this is something that I'd like to mark. Very heavy volume breakout, Polymedicure. Again, beaten down tremendously. The counter is up 4.5%. Maybe Vaishali, a view on Polymedicure?
Sure. So Polymedicare, I think it is a good stock to be looked into, because when I'm looking at the weekly chart also, the long-term trend is pretty much intact, currently at support level. So 1800 level should act as a good support, and that would be a positional buy, because once you see the stock, I would right now look at a range of 1800 to 2200. Once we see a clarity of the stock going about 2200, this is ready for higher targets towards 2600 and so on. So in my opinion, this is a good stock to be considered, with 1800 as support levels.
All right, what about Edgy Infra, Vaishali? Let's pull that one up for you as well. I think that's on the back of an order win, so that's why we're seeing that one move this morning. Let's pull up Edgy Infra, and we've got about a 4% move coming in right now.
Well, I would just take it as a trading strategy, because one such candle will not justify a good buy, but only consolation is that, well, it's deep in oversold and trying to give a bounce. So today's low can be acted as a stop loss for a target of near-term target of 950.
Karnataka Bank is something that I'd like to mark, Aabha. This is based on very, very heavy volumes. The fifth most active traded counter on the NSE, now breaching past 200. Again, beaten down. The private banking space now coming up in the form of old private sector banks. KTK Bank doing extremely well on very heavy volumes. While I flush out some particulars as far as the valuation is concerned, Vaishali, what are the charts of Karnataka Bank telling you?
Well, so I think this is showing a lot of strength, and I think this can go towards 220 to 30 levels from here on. I see this has got into a strong trend. We are seeing consistent good volume since a couple of days, especially the last 2 days. So yes, it calls for good upside going towards 220 to 30.
And Aabha, look at the interesting part, a price earnings of 6.2. PE is 6.2, price to book is 0.6. It's trading below book value, and therefore the dividend yield is also 2.65%. Well, very, very juicy valuations for a sector that's doing very, very well, and a stock that hasn't done much so far. Market capitalization of 7,100 crores, revenue of 8,941. The market is really, really missing something. Aabha.
Market is clearly missing something. Karnataka Bank is on fire right now. Okay, what about, among the private banking names, I'm going to stick to that for a moment, Vaishali, just on pure technicals. Let's take an Axis, let's take a Kotak, and let's understand where you feel the best value is, or the best uptrend will be more immediately.
So yes, Aabha, I like Axis Bank, which I have been repeatedly mentioning almost at every this. But yes, because this stock is doing quite well. It is holding on with its upward move. So I would say 1240 would act as a good support. And once we see good strength coming in this stock, this can go towards 1340, 1350. And likewise, I mean, even ICICI Bank, Kotak Bank, they all look pretty good at these levels.
9:49. Let's try and wrap up the market. So the first half an hour, ladies and gentlemen, is something in which two sectors have sort of outperformed dramatically. The IT sector bouncing very rapidly, 1.4% higher from its 200-day moving average. The IT index is in top form. PSU banks are doing extremely well. Pockets of gain seen in the auto space, in particular Eicher Motors. Remember, the market is getting ready for November numbers that will be revealed later this week, and PSUs are showing strength. Ireda, look at ITI, very strong gains. HUDCO. So there are pockets of strength in a market that's consolidating ahead of its monthly expiry tomorrow, and financial services space is doing very well. Aabha, what are you watching?
Well, I think right now the markets, it's encouraging to see that the mood seems to be intact. And we're continuing to see upward trajectory.
Yes,
Clearly boosted by IT, and I know you've talked about that extensively with Vishali, but that's really where the action's coming in from this morning. Having said that, I mean, we do have touches of red across on some of the broader market indices, but it's really just a marginal downtick at the moment. So as you said, Shell, I think it's fairly sideways, and right now I think we're watching out for the Fed commentary this week. It's a truncated week when it comes to Wall Street, and we'll wait and see how we perform over here as we just close out the month. Vishali, thanks so much for joining us. That's why we leave it there this morning. Back with more right here on Business Today.